Hey guys, good morning. Happy coffee talk. Coffee this morning's in my Perry mug from Phineas and Ferb. He is a platypus, I think, and he's got like a stank face on. Yikes, that was my first sip of coffee this morning. So normally sometimes when I do coffee talk, I've had at least 2 cups of coffee, but today that is my first sip. It's like 5:43 in the morning, so I was dragging a little bit today. I snoozed my alarm twice, but I'm up and I'm rocking and ready to dive into the coffee talk topic for today. So if you missed yesterday, I really it stuck with me. My own episode stuck with me is that whole like nobody cares about your goals and that's okay episode. So if you didn't listen to it, go back and listen because I think it's an important one. And I think more people need to hear this so that way they can be successful. But today I want to share like a little story about my dog Rocky and then tell you something that I don't think most people would believe. So first off, Rocky is 2 years old, I think. Yeah, he is a Mastiff mutt. And here's how I found Rocky. It was December. It was December of 2020, I think. And so the kids had been home for quite a while, at this point, because they hadn't gone back to school here in Washington. So I had my kids home doing school, online. And I was doing my normal Fit Me coaching and leading my team and all of that. And I remember driving to Starbucks. So it's December and it's freezing out. Like I'm talking like 10, 15 degrees. And I drive to Starbucks. It's maybe 2 weeks before Christmas. And I look over and in this parking lot is a woman who's set up with like a lawn chair, like a summer lawn chair. And on the ground in front of her are what appears to be like a bunch of puppies. And they're on the concrete. And she's set up like a baby pen, around them so they can't get away. And this is in the parking lot of Starbucks. And so I was actually on the phone at the time with two of the people on my team. And I was like, I got to go. I'll be right back. For real. So I hung up the phone and I pull over and I immediately can tell that this lady is sketchy. Like these puppies are filthy. The mom's dog is there, does not look good. And this lady looks like she has an addiction problem for sure. And the whole situation was not good. And so I said to her, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm selling these puppies. And I was like, these puppies look way too young. Because way back in the day, my Labradors had puppies, so I've seen them be babies, and they looked too young. And I said, these puppies look way too young. And she's like, well, they're 5 weeks old, and they're old enough. They're weaned. And I was like, holy crap. Puppies really aren't supposed to go away from their mom until they're like 8 weeks. And even then, that's like young, it's typical. But definitely not 5 weeks. They're not ready yet. And she might have been lying anyways, because just to say that. So I look at these puppies on the ground on the concrete in this freezing cold day, and they are shivering, right? They are shaking, and I mean, I couldn't handle it. So I said to her, I was like, how much for all the puppies? And she looked at me like I was crazy. And so I was like, how much for all the puppies? Because I knew she was selling them. She's like, I'm selling them. Oh, because I said, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm selling these puppies. I need to pay my taxes. But to pay the taxes was probably to feed the addiction. And so I said, how much for all the puppies? And she's like, well, you can't buy them all. Remember, it was right before Christmas, right? Like this lady knew she was going to make a buck. So I was like, just sell me all the puppies. They're frozen. I will find them homes. And she's like, well, you can't have them all. And I'm like, listen, think about how much you want for all the puppies. I'm going to go across the street to the ATM and I'm going to get some money and I'm going to come back. So I go across the street to the ATM and it had a $400 like limit on my debit card. So I pull out $400 and then I left my debit card in the machine because I was so like amped up. So I forgot my debit card, lost it. Took $400 back over to the lady. And I was like, okay, can I have all these puppies for $400? And she's like, no, you cannot have all the puppies for $400. You can have 4 of them. And I was like, what the hell? Like, why does she even care? But I knew she was trying to make a buck, right? So I grabbed 4 of the puppies. And one of them was like this, tan puppy, big puppy with a white star on its chest. It was hidden in the back of a crate. Another one was like a black brindle, and then 2 kind of were like tan color too. So I get those. I put the whole thing on my Instagram story. Like on my drive home, I've got these puppies in my lap, and they're crying and they're freezing. So I get them home, and then I actually had a friend who went back and got a couple more of the puppies from the lady. We didn't get all of them, but we got a couple of them. And the next couple of weeks were hell on earth, to be honest, because these puppies were babies. They were like not supposed to have been taken from their mothers. They cried all night. They were a mess. Like they destroyed the house. Like, I mean, we had them penned up. It didn't even matter, like it was a situation. But found homes for them. Ended up keeping two, actually, Rocky and Rosie. And then about a year ago, found Rosie at home, and it just ended up being too much to have two giant, big dogs. And she was kind of a high maintenance dog, and she was Henry's dog. And he just wasn't able to take care of her the way she needed. So we actually have friends that took her, and that worked out perfect. So in conclusion, I ended up with Rocky, who joined our family, and my other dog, Bonnie. So Rocky is now a 140-pound Mastiff mutt, that I got off the street for $100, right? In the freezing cold. So why do I tell you all that? Well, you won't believe how much I spent on dog training, because let's be real. Like I knew that if we were going to keep this dog, that he would have to be trained, because I had a little daughter at the time. Georgia was like a toddler, 1, and I was like, this is going to be a big dog. And I had done dog training with Bonnie, actually. And I'd invested in a dog trainer, an expensive one. And I, at the time, like Bonnie didn't even need that level of training. She was so easy to train, but I knew a trainer. And so I had him come over and check out Rocky. And he was like, this kind of dog, this dog is a Mastiff, and it needs to be trained. And this is what I'm going to do. If you want to train this dog, here's how it's going to work. And he would come over to the house, 3 times a week, basically, and train Rocky until he was trained. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And actually I had Rosie at the time too. So I had both. So he gave me a combination price, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but let's just say approximately $3,000 a dog. $3,000 a dog. Now, if you go to PetSmart, if you go to, the dog training, class, it is not $3,000. I promise you it's not. And there are other options that I think probably work for people. But to me, why did I spend $3,000 on this dog training? Because I did. I played out the scenario in which I had this giant dog that wasn't trained. And I was like, that scenario isn't possible. Either I'm going to train this dog or I'm not going to keep this dog. That was the option. So having the trainer come was a huge investment of time first. And remember, I had 2 of these. So I had trained both Rocky and Rosie, and he came different times for each dog. Sometimes we would do back to back, but they each got their own time. So it was a huge investment of time, and then a huge investment of money, and energy, because then you have to follow up with the training. So this was a big time investment to have these dogs trained. And most people who have met Rocky since then, or even have met Bonnie, have asked me, do you have a recommendation on a dog trainer? And I always say, yes, I do, because the dog trainer was excellent. And then when I tell them, and they're like, well, how much did you pay? I tell them, and they can't believe it. They don't even consider it. It's like, nope, never. I would never spend that much on dog training. And I get it, but I don't get it. And here's why. Here's why I don't get it. And this is important, because I'm not somebody who spends a lot of money on things in general, right? Like, I don't buy fancy clothes. I don't buy stuff, so spending money isn't something that I just do frivolously. But there are certain things that I'm willing to spend money on and have that be at a premium. And dog training fits into that category. Why? Because 1, this dog, and he's behind me right now, it's just funny, is going to be a part of my day every day until he dies. He is a part of what could either make my life better or much worse, and significantly worse in that it could be like a chronic pain in the ass, right? A dog that jumps on you, a dog that barks, a dog that bites, a dog that's unpredictable, a dog that doesn't listen, a dog that you can't walk. Like, that's a dog that causes every single day problems, and that dog doesn't have like the best life either, right? So in my mind, investing in a dog trainer, spending that money, that hard-earned money, was 1,000% worth it, because I can walk Rocky without him pulling on his leash. He doesn't bite. knock on wood. I mean, every dog could bite, but he doesn't bite. He's not aggressive. He's a good listener. I mean, he makes mistakes because he's a dog, but like he's a good boy, and people are shocked. I can take him anywhere. He is a good dog, and he's well trained. That is priceless to me. Of course I would invest that. Why would I want the PetSmart version when that would never create those kind of results for him? Never. And so would he have gotten a little bit trained? Could he sit and all that stuff? Probably, maybe come. But the level that this dog is trained means that he has a different life. And so sometimes it's cool to shop the bargains. I like the deals. I do. I want to get a deal if I can get a deal and save some money. There are other times where I don't want the bargain version. I don't want the bargain version of it. I want the version that's going to create the results. That's what I want. And if you can create the results and make my life significantly better, then it's worth it. It's worth the premium because I don't want the discount version. I want the best version because I want to have a good life. And so sometimes this happens in the fitness and nutrition category too, and we're trying to make healthy lifestyle changes. We're like, we see somebody who's made progress and we're like, hey, how did you do that? And they're like, oh, I got a coach. And like, how much was your coach? Well, it was a couple $1,000s. And they're like, I would never spend that on a coach. You will never get those kind of results. Period. Because here's the thing, like you can do it other ways, like shortcut ways. And if you have extensive knowledge, you can certainly do it yourself. That's also an option. But the thing is that when it's your life, you don't want the discount, meal plan that you got for $22 at the gym. That's not going to solve your problem. The $29, template that you bought offline, not going to solve your problem. Even the $99 template that you bought offline might be a little bit better, but still unlikely to solve a significant problem for you. Because it's not just like, do I not know what to eat? Like most people, that's not their issue. Most people, it's complicated. They kind of don't know what to eat. They definitely don't know how to be consistent. They have food issues. They have cravings issues. They have self-care issues. They take care of everybody else, but not themselves. They're not in good shape. So getting back into working out is hard. So there's resistance there. So they've got to create a workout routine and have a plan and have accountability. Creating that shift for someone, teaching them how to eat, how to do it consistently, all of those things, that is what I do. But that is not a $29 template. That's your life. And so it's funny because I think about Rocky sometimes and I'm like, worth every penny. Because every single day this dog is near me and I get the benefits of that investment. And when you invest in yourself, and I'm not just talking about a coach or a trainer, I mean, that can be that, but when you invest in yourself for something that is life-changing, you will see the benefits of it every single day. You don't want the bargain version. Trust me, you don't. If you had a hormone problem, you don't want the bargain doctor. You want the doctor who's going to solve the problem. That's the most important thing. Whether it's $50, $500, or $5,000, you want the doctor that's going to solve the problem. You don't want the bargain one. If you're hiring a coach, you don't want the bargain coach. You don't want the coach who's going to wing it and give you a template and not even look at you and not pay attention to what's going on in your life. You want the coach who's going to help you change for real, like Rocky changed for real. You're the one you want the coach who's going to solve the problem, because then once the problem's solved, then your life is different. And so sometimes I get messages, and I'm just being full honest with you guys. Sometimes I get messages that are like the first question, not the like, hey, I'm interested in Fit Me, or I'm interested in coaching, I'm interested in whatever, or like, hey, I'm really struggling with my weight, like I got to get some more info on what you guys provide. All those are normal. But if I get a message and the first question is, how much does coaching cost? I can already tell you this is not for you. You're not ready to invest in yourself in a way that creates those lifelong changes. You're still looking for the bargain, and this isn't it. Because that's not the kind of coaching this is. This is like the real life coaching. So when someone when the first thing that they ask me is how much does it cost, I'm like, this isn't for you. I already know. Because when in the category of lifelong change, that can't be your first question. the first question has to be like, how do you create results? Hey, I've got this problem. Is this something that you work with? Like, hey, I've tried X, Y, and Z and it didn't work. Like, tell me how this is different. Like, all of those are great questions. And we may or may not be a good fit. I may put you in the right direction of somebody else. But like, if you're shopping for bargain coaching, I'm not going to point you in the right direction to anybody, because bargain coaching isn't life-changing. So if you want like a weekend recipe list, yeah, get the bargain. If you want to change your life, get a real coach. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself, not in the coach. Because again, I invested in Rocky. I didn't invest in the trainer. I don't care about the dog trainer. I don't talk to him. I don't see him. He's a nice guy, but he doesn't live in my house. I invested in Rocky, in the life that he needed and the life that I wanted with him. So that's why it was worth it. I did not invest in the dog trainer. So when you invest in yourself, don't forget that. You're investing in yourself, in the life that you want, and how you want that to feel. And yes, there is some sort of vehicle, some sort of person, some sort of plan, some sort of program, some sort of coach, teacher, professor, guide, whatever, that's going to be a part of that vehicle. But you're not investing in them. You're investing in yourself. And if you're bargain shopping for yourself in every category, you're going to get bargain results. It's true. And it's not just money. I'm talking about time too. Remember with Rocky, it was a lot of time. A lot of time. That was not the bargain version of time either. It wasn't like, watch this course online and train your dog. This was like, this dude was coming to my house. I had to rearrange my schedule multiple times a week to have him come to train my dog. So it wasn't like, what's the fastest way that I can get there? It was like, this is the way to get there, and this is how it has to be done. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. But it was an investment of time. So when you invest in yourself, remember that too. You're not getting the bargain version of like quick fix. You're going to have to put some time in. It's for real. So when you put in money and you put in time and you put in energy and attention, you get top-notch results, life-changing ones. So that's my coffee talk message for today. I hope it was helpful. If you haven't done so, subscribe to Fit Me Coffee Talk on your favorite podcast platform. And if you're not a part of our Facebook group yet, go to Facebook, search Fit Me Community, request to join the group. We've got bingo going on in there right now, spring clean out bingo. Would love to have you a part of it. And so go check it out, and I will talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye.